Good morning, you motherfuckers. How the fuck you doing? Welcome back. Another fucking episode of the Morning Drinking Show. It's all on me. With your host, fucking Greg Scargill. Here I am, chronicling what? 10 motherfucking years. Putting in that work. Sobriety. We count in 10 years of sobriety. 10 years of transformation, right? And we getting on here every single day, every fucking day. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some consistency, right? Any of y'all motherfuckers got this level of consistency going on in your life beyond them bad fucking habits, right? In bad habits, we got that consistency, right? What you doing that you're not proud of, but you do it consistently, right? Some of it you just sitting there checked out. Some of y'all just checked out consistently, right? You wake up, you kind of got your routine in the morning. You're usually a little scrambled, a little flustered, always feeling kind of behind, right? And some of y'all, you got a little bit of time to yourself, and you always tell yourself, I probably have time to do this. I probably have time to get in a workout. I probably have time to do something for me. But then for some reason, you don't make the time. And on this Monday morning, right, this shit starts coming down to what are you making the time for, right? What matters to you on a Monday morning, right? As you kind of look at your work week, as you're coming off the weekend, what'd you do this weekend? What'd you do to get yourself fired the fuck up for today, for life, right? Because you want to make something happen, right? You got goals and dreams you need to chase after. Yeah, you doing your little thing. You got your little hustle going on, right? You showing up for the job. You like it, but you know there's something else that you want to accomplish in this day and age, right? What is that thing? What is that thing? That's what I'm trying to bring out of a lot of you, right? It's not just showing up. It's showing up with intention and saying, you know what? No matter where I'm at right now, no matter where my starting point is today, right? There are some choices you can make to change your fucking whole life, to change everything, right? Some of you, you're 15 years, 18 years deep into a career, and all you're doing is looking at that fucking retirement, right? When can you hit that retirement so you can free yourself up, right? But in the meantime, there's still some shit you could be doing on a side hustle to make it even happen faster if you wanted to, right? Or at least when you do hit that retirement, you don't feel like shit. If some of y'all was just sitting there saying, you know what, as soon as I'm retired, then I'll start getting in shape, then I'll start managing myself, taking better care of myself, man, I guess all it takes is what? Some kind of a life situation, right? Maybe it's cancer, right? Some of these illnesses, they come out of nowhere, motherfuckers. Cancer, heart attacks, right? And then you're going to wake up. Then you're going to start saying, you know what? Shit, I should have taken my fucking health way more serious. When it's each and every day, you get a choice. You get a choice on what you're going to put in your body. You get a choice on if you're going to exercise or not. You're going to live life with intention, or you're just going to keep doing your little routine that doesn't give you more what? Life, more feeling fulfilled, right? That's why I keep getting back on here, right? Me talking all this shit is first talking it to myself, but it's also just letting you guys see my day-to-day life, right? The things I'm doing on a daily basis. And when we talk about Monday, right? Monday's usually getting back to work. Some of y'all are fortunate enough. Maybe you're retired. Maybe you work for yourself. Maybe Monday is your fucking Friday or your Saturday. We got all kinds of weird schedules nowadays. We got all kinds of people that ain't even putting in no work, right? And you still getting paid, right? The government's fucking hooking you up. So you ain't even really putting in work. But at the end of the day, how could you even max out that? If you got all that time, because you ain't punching someone else's clock. Well, what are you doing? That's a great opportunity, right? Time. If you can focus your time and your attention, right, really set some goals out and figure out what your purpose is. How many of y'all know what your fucking life's purpose is? And trust me, it isn't retiring from fucking corporate life. It isn't retiring with a federal fucking pension, right? Or a state pension, a government fucking employee pension. That's your purpose, right? Right? What is your real purpose in life? And it's like there's very few people that are working for someone else that have found their purpose, right? Like, and your purpose could be a lot of different things. But usually it's something you're really passionate about. And it's usually something that really excites you and it comes natural to you. You need to develop whatever that gift is that you have. It's like me with talking. You know, I'm still barking. I still got fucking grown ass men and getting all hurt. Man, you say too many fucking F bombs. Competing with Samuel L. Jackson. It's like, dude, I'm trying to compete with Scarface. Actually, I'm just trying to be me. That's the fucking fact of the matter. You know, a lot of y'all don't realize, but you know, I spent some time with the fucking U.S. Marines, them devil dogs barking all fucking day. Probably the biggest potty mouse I ever fucking been around. And that's just even the way I grew up. So I feel like me trying to edit my language in order to suit your fucking little soft ears, right? To sound more civilized is not me being my authentic self. And just because you don't talk like this, maybe you do, maybe you don't, maybe you're just more civilized than me, that's fine. I like having one foot in the wild, right? And I like going back to that place often because it's where I feel alive. I feel alive in nature. I feel alive when I'm immersed in the elements like I was this weekend again, right? What'd you do this weekend? Can you look back on the weekend and be like, fuck, I felt good. I did some new shit. I pushed myself because I actually went out of my way to do something different, to do something new, and it felt really good. And guess what? I want to go do it again. Anybody trying some new experiences, because guess what? We're already marching down. You guys, next week is March. Next week, motherfuckers. Next week, man. Next week's March. And I know there's a lot of us excited because once we hit March, it starts to feel like, you know, we're getting out of the winter. I'll tell you what, the crazy thing about here in New Mexico, though, is we have a weird spring. Our spring, it like does start to turn spring-like, but we'll still catch a snowstorm in May. And that messes a lot of people up, especially all you transplants moving over here to New Mexico, thinking we're like Arizona with saguaro cactuses and shit. We're high desert, man. This place where I live at 7,600 feet, man. That's like 2,000 feet plus above Denver. Right? We high. We're high as a motherfucker over here in the high desert of New Mexico. But a lot of y'all think this is like fucking Arizona, and it ain't. It ain't. All four of those states, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, they call it the Four Corner States. We all got something special and unique. And I'm grateful to be here. You know, I'm grateful for this place, the cultures, the ancient stories of the past here in New Mexico. There's so much wildness to us still, right? We're not fully developed as a state. We got a lot of land and there's a lot of good secrets to that land, a lot of stashy spots, especially if you like to get out in nature. Not everybody knows about all our secret spots. And some of you will never know about our secret spots. But when it comes to waking up on a Monday morning, right? If you're someone that's starting to journal, what are you journaling about? What are you writing about? What does your Monday feel like? Right? Is your Monday the Monday blues? Because you're stressed out because you got to go back to work? Right? Is me talking about March 1st coming up already putting pressure on you because you know, guess what? All them bills are due and you're still living that fucking paycheck to paycheck life and you just don't know what you can do. to change that up. Because what? Because your life's hit you, right? You're a single mother, you're a single father, you're barely scraping by, you're in a bad relationship, right? You're feeling stressed out through the week, and you don't know what to do to fucking improve your life. And that's a tough place to be. I've been there. I mean, when I was that motherfucker there, I could never see this, right? And even though I had great success before fucking hitting that rock bottom, I had great success in my 20s. Huge success, financial success, right? Running a company in Southern California, making stupid money, right? Ridiculous amounts of money, right? More than even just as a teacher I was making 1 year. I'd be making 1 month in my fucking 20s. That's big money for a 20-year-old. And yet, poof, the economy collapsed. And guess what? This motherfucker got wiped out. And, you know, it was tough because I took a lot of pride in being an entrepreneur, being self-employed, you know, almost to a point of arrogance. I can admit that throughout my life. I know that it was to a point of arrogance when I was running my own business, because I was very prideful. I was very fucking self-confident, almost, again, to my own demise. Even though I've always put people, right, serving people, I think that's always been one of the natures of me as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, right? As a human, I've always enjoyed interacting with other people, serving other people, helping other people. And the times that it's been under the guise of a business, it's always been very rewarding for me, because I think naturally I truly do enjoy giving of my time, my talents to try and improve someone else's situation. So I was sitting there in a promotional products company, and I'd have business owners, entrepreneurs, big and small, you know, government contracts, you know, basically from a plumber or contractor coming in saying, hey, I want to do XYZ plumbing. Can you help me design a logo? Right. And I design up a logo, and then we put that on business cards and t-shirts and hats and, you know, banners and stickers and just anything that that person could do to what? Promote their business. You know, and then I'd have everything from schools and businesses to government contracts, you know, with my affiliation with the military, right? So I've managed a lot of different relationships, a lot of different business relationships, and I've consulted a lot of people about their business and how to make more money for themselves, right? And image is everything when it comes to that business. You can look like you're a fucking startup, like you just got some cheesy little cards with a fucking wrench, Joe's Plumbing, real basic font, or you can actually pay for a fucking quality logo that makes you look like you're a corporation, you're organized, you know, like you're professional. Because again, image is everything. And not everyone has that creative gift and talent. And that's why when I discovered that in myself, I knew right away, man, I wanted to share that talent with business owners and entrepreneurs, people looking to promote themselves and grow their businesses, accomplish their goals and dreams. And so here I am, you know, and that was before this motherfucking shit. So here I find myself years later, decades. Let's call it 20 years later, before when I first started really firing on all cylinders, running What's Your Signs, my company in Southern California. Right? Living this dream life, but it came at a cost of helping people day in and day out, you know, and I can always remember, for someone like me, it would be a Friday afternoon, right? And a customer would come in the door like 4 o'clock, 3:30. Oh shit. I got an event tomorrow, you know, or Sunday, and I forgot to order 200 t-shirts for the event. Can you help me? Well, guess what? I was the person to say, fuck, all right, yes, I'll help you. And me usually saying yes at fucking 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday meant I was going to have to jump through hoops to try and place a fucking last second order with my wholesaler on t-shirts. That means I was going to have to jump through hoops to get the fucking screens made so I could screen print the shirts. And that means I was going to have to send somebody, You know, this was in Southern California, to San Diego on a Friday fucking afternoon, right? In traffic to go pick up the shirts, right? And that probably took 4 hours to go 40 miles round trip. And then I was gonna have to stay up all night printing them dang shirts to try and serve that customer, right? And that's called going above and beyond, because that's the kind of person I am. I've always been that person, to go above and fucking beyond. So here I am today. I'm still going above and beyond. This is the part of who I am. And some of y'all have this same shit in you too. But I can tell you that when I went through my depression, and that was a long battle, man, coming off of this, right? Coming off of the loss, when I lost my business, when I had to close my business. I didn't just lose my business. I didn't wake up and say, where is my business? No, I had to close my business. It felt like it was the best decision for me to make. It was a shitty decision because I was right at this point when the economy collapsed in 08 and 09, right? Where my business was growing, where my brand was really fucking, my star was rising, my brand was growing. I had people coming from all over Southern California come sit down next to the fucking grandmaster of design, right? I had built a reputation of excellence, of being high quality fucking designs, next level shit, really helping people to look professional, not just some cheesy bullshit. And again, image is everything, especially in business. You can look like you're a fucking just barely getting started, some chicken scratch fucking business cards, shitty fucking material printed on, shitty printing quality, like you just printed out of an inkjet, right? Or you try to save yourself some money with fucking Vistaprint or some bullshit, and they've gone better, right? But it was nothing like coming to someone like me, right? That had the creative talent that when you would sit there, you'd pay the price. And I think back then, you know, it was probably $65 an hour. And you would sit there, but it was so important for me to get someone the look that they loved, right? So even though you didn't have the creative talent, I would sit there and I would try and have this interview and extract as much of the vision you had in your mind. Because the sooner I could get someone to fall in love with what I was making for them, the sooner we could start getting some things done for them, right? Whether it was banners, t-shirts, business cards, flyers, trifolds, vehicle graphics, and then everything had to be what? Consistent, you guys. Consistency. But it starts with me. It started with how I showed up for these customers. Was I consistent? Right? And there's times that I was consistent with my business, and there was times I wasn't. And the times that I wasn't consistent, you guys, it was when I got caught slipping. It was when I started to fucking allow for red party cups to be fucking normal in the workplace. Letting motherfuckers get drunk during the fucking workday, getting high, smoking weed, fucking getting drunk, right? And then going out to lunch on a nice, beautiful, sunny Southern California fucking summer day. I mean, beach town, and we go out to pizza or fucking somewhere good, little fucking Tina Vince's Italian deli, and then we wouldn't go back, right? We wouldn't go back to work. That's super irresponsible, right? And I took advantage of that situation in a lot of ways, and that's when that's not the result of why I had to close my business, but it was opportunities I missed. And so what does any of that have to do with today? It has everything to do with today, because I have to still look back and say, okay, you used to take care of a lot of people. A lot of people would pay you a lot of money. I was making a lot of money to take care of them. They trusted you with one of their most precious things, which is their business. Their business, man, their livelihood. That's a big fucking responsibility when someone trusts you with their livelihood, to say, hey, man, I trust that you're going to help me grow my business, help me to organize the communication of my business. And I've done that shit throughout the years. Any opportunity I've ever had, like I still do some business consulting for people. You know, I'm still working on my own fucking businesses, right? And it's come out of the depression, right? It's coming with the clarity. It's like when I fucking hit rock bottom, this drunk motherfucker right here in 2012, that was rough, right? Again, divorce papers, criminal fucking charges, right? Separation, restraining orders, all this shit, man. And, you know, I put myself there. My addiction to alcohol, you know, my pain and suffering, again, because I had lost that business. I had lost that sense of independence and having to let the dreams go. And those were some fucking big dreams that I had in Southern California. You know, having a beautiful pool home in Southern California, Oceanside, a mile from the beach, man, beautiful little neighborhood. It's a little older, but it was like a cool fixer upper, man. I had already dumped a ton of money into really fixing it up, man, making my little oasis. And when all that goes away, right, it was like, fuck. I definitely hit an emotional rock bottom, depression, right? I gave up. I gave up on life. I felt like a failure. I carried that shit around. And ultimately, you know, that created a lot of anger in me, frustration in me. And because of the way I was raised, I didn't really know how to express that, those emotions. I didn't really know how to put that shit into actual words, right? To make sense of it. Like, I knew how I felt, but I didn't know how to express it to somebody. I didn't know how to communicate it. And I'm still trying to develop that skill to this day, is being in connection with how I'm feeling, how I feel about different situations and stories throughout my life. You know, failed relationships, coming off a divorce, and a failed relationship even more recently with someone I care deeply about. And, you know, it's like, how do you truly get through all that? How do you get through the storms of life? Right? How do you persevere and maintain a sense of resilienceness, right? Where you get knocked the fuck out, you get knocked down, you don't stay down, you get the fuck back up, right? And some of us, we've got knocked down and we just fucking roll over, get ourselves a pillow, get ourselves a blankie, right? And we just sit there. We just sit there in our pain, in our suffering, and we're not living anymore. And this weekend, we talked a lot about life or death. I talked a lot about last meals. We talked a lot about, you know, is heaven really going to be better? I seen it again this morning. Someone posting about someone dying, right? And posting about the hopes of heaven, right? That the streets of heaven are paved in gold. How many of y'all believe that the streets of heaven are paved in gold? I mean, technically, you say the streets of this earth are paved in gold, not physical gold, but how much money does this fucking shit cost? Billions and billions and trillions of fucking dollars if you really collectively add up all the money that's ever been spent on roads and road maintenance, right? This shit's big money. It's not literal gold, but if the roads of heaven are painted in gold, well, what are we driving? Right? Are you driving fucking Bugattis, Lambos, Ferraris, right? What are you driving? McLarens? Are we flying jets? Everybody's got a private jet polluting the fucking skies. Like, what are we doing? What do we need roads of gold paved in fucking heaven for? Right? What's the mode of transportation? Can you fly? Do we have wings? Do we get to fly? So what do we even need them fucking roads of gold for? Some of this shit, you gotta like think about it through the logical fucking mind. And it's very interesting when we get past the fantasy of it. And it becomes more of like, you know, whether you believe that the roads in heaven are in gold or not, whether you can even go there, or you're just gonna have that blind faith, just believe it all. Your life doesn't have to show that you believe it, but you just say, I got blind faith. I just believe it. I don't know what else to think about it. I don't want to critical think this shit. I don't want to overthink it. And I'm not trying to get you to go there on a Monday morning, but I'm trying to continue to emphasize how important your life is today, not where you're going to be when you die after heaven, right? But even then, if you truly believe that there is this life after death, there is this place called heaven. And if there's a place called heaven, that means you probably believe there's a place called hell. Some of y'all think this is hell, and some of y'all think this is heaven. I've always laughed when I talk to people and they're just like, another day in paradise. Who said that? Be honest. Who has said it's just another day in paradise? Right? And we're usually in a bathroom or something. It's like, just passing, you run into somebody taking a bathroom break. How you doing today? Just another day in paradise. It's like we taking a leak in the bathroom, man. Come on now. They say not paradise. At least I don't see it like that. But hopefully that's not just some bullshit saying that you say. Like, hopefully you actually believe that shit. You do believe that there's paradise here on earth. I know I got to taste a little bit of nature and the best of nature this weekend, right? And a lot of it is really just me investing in myself. My work week, here we go again. Last week was a hell of a week. This week is going to probably be a little bit of the same because I'm in a transitional period, entering into a new venture and assuming a leadership role, and assuming management responsibility over a lot of people that used to be assigned to another manager and another culture and a different philosophy of management. And that's a really tough place. I've already lost a few people out of about 10. I've already had to hire one. I'm interviewing more this week, and I've already lost a few people. Some people, one person definitely needed to go. This was a bad apple. But there's been some other people that just self-eliminated, right? They couldn't deal with the change, for whatever reason. And that's just natural. I've been on both sides of that. When I was working at Santa Fe Community College, most recently, before I started teaching, I was there for 6 years. I built an award-winning, fucking nationally recognized veterans program called a Veterans Resource Center. During my time at the community college, I created a reputation of excellence and was even recognized by a national organization called Student Veterans of America, man. Over 100,000 fucking members in this organization. And I was given a national, I won two national awards. One of them was for myself, which was the Veteran Advisor of the Year, 2016. And secondly, me and a veteran went and participated in a business plan competition where we had to really put out a plan and goals for how to be successful as a veteran organization within the realm of higher education. And I guess, these veteran resource centers throughout the country submitted their plans, their proposals, and only the top 5 were actually invited to the national conference to compete. And we went up against some big fucking schools, man. University of Nebraska, University of Houston, Florida International, Xavier out of Chicago. And then there was us, Santa Fe Community College, man. We ain't even got a mascot. And we kicked all their asses in front of a national fucking stage, man. Because again, a lot of that presentation was infused with my creativity, with my form of communication, which is next level, not just PowerPoint, bland and fucking boring. And so the thing about it is that no matter the role, if I'm showing up for something, I'm going to give it 100%, right? I gave 100% during my time at the community college. I gave 100% when I was showing up as a teacher for 2 years. And that's always been really the power of me is I've always been flexible. I've always been willing to go with the flow. I've always been willing to fucking do the audible. And that's why I challenged you guys this past weekend. Like, you didn't have the football. Now I'm already seeing, was it the NBA fucking All-Star game? Where I'm seeing people complain about fucking that shit. right? And it's like you're sitting there wasting your fucking time watching these other motherfuckers work. Why are you complaining? You know, it's boring as fuck when you start to realize that you just watching another fucking man or woman earn their paycheck. That's really what it boils down to. You can say it's entertaining, right? They are athletic. They do perform on a high level, but at the end of the day, you're just watching someone else earn their paycheck, right? And how does that add value to your life? It gives you a memory. It allows you to feel like you're a part of something, right? So it's like if everyone is watching, you're a part of that. So you are a part of a community of fans, right? You're a fan. You're watching these motherfuckers do this shit. And hopefully it gets you some joy. Hopefully you enjoy watching these people do this. But at what point are you going to start doing this for yourself? And that's what I'm continue to point to, is the it's all on me, is you figuring out what the fuck you want to do, right? What it is that is going to give you some more gratitude in your life, to be grateful for life. Some of y'all just grateful for life because you have breath, right? There's so much to be grateful for because this is truly a game of life and death. And some of y'all may truly believe that this place sucks compared to heaven. This earth is kind of a waste of time, right? Well, what are you called to do on this earth? Make a difference in someone else's life, promote someone else, promote a particular faith, an ideology, promote a fucking, political ideology, a religious ideology. That's your purpose, right? Or is your purpose to truly discover what gifts you have and to use them to make an impact in the lives of others, right? To use those gifts to shine your light bright, to speak your truth, right? To sing your truth, to express your truth through art, through music, right? Through performance, through exercise, right? Through culinary. I mean, there's so many ways for you to express your gift in the trades, right? When I worked at Santa Fe Community College, I was always blown away by the trades professions, not just so much the office shit, sitting on your ass all day, like business, legal, clerical shit. But when you really start getting into like the trades, the welding, the aquaponics stuff, the agriculture, the solar, the biodiesel stuff. I mean, there's some incredible fields nowadays that truly are probably the jobs in the economy of the next 100 years, right? There's always going to be a need for someone that has a solid business background, right? That can manage and organize a company and help to build a brand. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are gifted with trades, working with their hands, working with their minds, engaging in stuff, not just sitting there on a computer all day. And that was one of the reasons why I had to get away from teaching, because during the COVID, man, it was like computer all day long, not what I signed up for. And then having to invite like all of my students, all of my fucking co-teachers, administrators, principals, all these people into my home, right? And I'm inviting you guys into my home, but there's the difference. I am choosing to invite you in your home. When I was working, I didn't have that choice. It was what I had to do, or else what? Not work. And some of y'all are in that place where you're like, you're done working because you're working fucking shitty jobs, right? This great resignation, as someone that's now back in a managerial position, I'm talking to a lot of other managers, business owners, and it's difficult to try and find people that are reliable, responsible, dependable, right? That want to actually show up for work. And that's a shitty thing, that people are that frustrated, that they feel that self-entitled because everybody wants to be an instant millionaire, right? And I told you guys about that book, right? There is a book. It's called Instant Millionaire. You should listen to it. And it really talks about your worth, your value, your fucking value. We talked about that this weekend. I think your health is your wealth, because to me, the more that you take care of yourself, you take care of what you're eating, right? You're eliminating, you're saying no to some of these fucking unhealthy foods, the fast foods, the processed foods, the chips, right? The burgers, the fries, restaurant food, right? And you're starting to say, you know what, I'm gonna eat different. And that doesn't mean like I'm 100% plant-based. I eat a vegan diet, right? But I hardly ever eat salads. And I used to be that asshole that would be like, man, I don't want to eat fucking salads all day. That's boring. I like salads, but here I am living this life and I hardly ever eat salads. But I have to eat a lot of food. And it's a lot of whole food. It's a lot of real nutrients, a lot of greens, right? I do hit that vegetable and that produce section hard, right? And a lot of times one of my big pet peeves is wasting food. So it's like anytime something starts going bad, I try and freeze it so I don't waste it, so I can still utilize that. So that is one of those changes that I've had to embrace in terms of changing up my nutrition. Is I go to the grocery a lot more too, because I'm always buying fresh vegetables, fresh food, and that shit goes bad unless you use it. And so that's one of my pet peeves. I also have compost. So the compost also gives me a reason to feel like I'm not just being wasteful. But when we talk about our worth on a Monday morning, what's motivating you this week? Do you have some goals, right? Or are you just punching a fucking clock, right? Are you in control of your life, or is life in control of you? Which is it? Do you realize that you have a choice there? That you don't have to just settle for something that's not fulfilling you as a human being. And that even if you do feel like you've settled for a relationship, you've settled for an occupation because you need to make a paycheck, you don't have to stay there. You can be simultaneously working, right? They say, all right, your 9 to 5 is what pays the bills, but your 5 to 9 is what helps you achieve your goals, right? And so some of you need to take on that side hustle and make it your main hustle. And if you wanted to make your side hustle your main hustle, you got to invest more time in what? The thing that you love to do, right? And some of it, we also need to realize, the things that are just like hobby, right? That you don't have any way of truly monetizing something you care about, right? It's like, is there a way for me? I really love to go hiking. Is there a way for me to monetize hiking? There actually is, right? I love to go hiking. Can anybody think of a way that I could monetize, meaning make money hiking? Does anybody have an idea? Right? That's just something I love to do. I love to go out hiking. Does anybody have an idea for me today on how I could make some money hiking? All right. I got an idea. Right? I could start a little company doing adventure guides, right? Where people traveling here to New Mexico, traveling here to Santa Fe, right? I could start offering guided tours, guided hikes, right? Not everybody knows this place. Not everybody is just self-driven and self-motivated and coordinated in terms of going places or feels safe and secure. So getting someone with some local knowledge, with some passion and some stories to share, right? To make the hike more interesting, right? People are willing to pay for that. Is everyone willing to pay for that? No, but there are some people that are willing to pay for it. So that's just one example where I could turn something that is just a passion of mine into some extra income. Is that going to basically turn itself into a business that I could just do that for a living? Who knows? Who knows nowadays? You never know. What if this turns into fucking something gigantic? Just me talking, right? Me just sharing my story. This is a pretty interesting thing, right? We're building a brand here. We're going to have some products, some merchandise, some programming, right? I have some goals that I still want to achieve with It's All on Me, motherfuckers. And so I'm just trying to show you guys that there's probably something in your life right now that you truly love to do. You're probably thinking about doing it. Maybe you're doing it on a regular basis, but you should really get into it. Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. I've seen a lot of people that they must have lost a lot of weight during the pandemic, or there must be something going on out there. But I see people that are in shape that are posting pictures that aren't them of other people in shape, but they haven't. I can just tell you as an observer, I think what some of you all are doing is you're wanting to be like a nutrition coach or a health coach or a guide or a mentor in terms of helping people manage their nutrition. And that's amazing. But, and I'm not watching you guys close enough to know if you have really shared your personal story in a really, like really showing the passion that you have for yourself first, and how you now have mastered whatever this nutrition plan is that helped transform your life into something that is now transportable, that someone else could actually duplicate your process with your guidance and mentorship. So see, a lot of people don't know how to communicate, right, their value from a place of saying, hey, I'm offering something to others that has worked for me. And there's probably some areas and some gaps that even me, I could improve, right? With how am I presenting this message, right? How am I truly inspiring people to realize their greatest potential, right? That the inspiration is something that can turn into transformation, right? Because it's one thing to be inspired each and every day, right? I talked over the weekend that being inspired, when you are inspired by something, that truly is like you having reason to live today and hope that you can make it to tomorrow. But there's a lot of you guys that aren't inspired by nothing, man. You're dead. You're literally dead with your eyes open. You've stopped living, right? There's nothing that's really motivating you to get up. You're obligated, right? Does anybody feel the burden of life's responsibilities, obligation, right? Feeling like, the thing that gets me up every day is the fact that I'm a parent and I got to take care of my kids. I got to do these responsibilities. And that's an admirable thing, right? That you are a responsible human being, that you show up for those that need you. Because trust me, I haven't always shown up, right? And I didn't always have someone to show up for me. But here I am trying to show up every single fucking day on the It's All on Me, the morning drinking show. Perfect fucking attendance. And to think that this doesn't translate into other parts of my life, fuck yeah, it does. This definitely is starting to translate. Is it instant? No. Because sometimes you just got to keep putting that energy, keep making that effort, not beating yourself up when you don't see those instant results. That's the other problem with so many of us. We want instant gratification, so we chase after the pleasures that do give us those instant gratifications. And it's usually those familiar places, right? For me, the drunk motherfucker right there, right? It was the familiar place. It was saying, fuck, as soon as I'm done working, I'm going to hit that happy hour, right? I'm going to tie one on, man. Unwind the day. And it was like, that gave me a completion of the day, right? For some of you, you got your own little vices. You got your own little things you run to that just help you to just check the fuck out, to numb the pain, to numb the stress, to avoid the feelings that you're having so that you can somehow manage yourself. And it sucks when you're like that because you're just avoiding things that need to get dealt with in your life. And I've been there. I've been that avoidant person where I didn't want to deal with my issues, my shit. And I've used a lot of different things. And even some of these things here in filling up my cup. There's been times where I've used volunteering as a way to escape from my responsibilities, right? That's not every fucking time, but there are certainly times where I was like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this life shit. And I'm getting this opportunity to go help out some people with Team Rubicon. And I went and did it. Was the opportunity worth it? Yeah, I think it's always worth it, man. If you can help someone else out, it'll at least help you be more grateful for what you got. And there's something to be seen in that, man. When you can see suffering, real fucking suffering. I know me painting that picture of someone starving right now, so fucking bad that they're literally clawing themselves into their own graves because no one else is going to do it for them, right? The birds are just going to pick at them, eat them, the animals or some shit. They're trying to dig themselves in their own fucking graves. That's how bad they're starving right now. That's the world we live in, you guys. And y'all taking it for granted. Y'all taking the blessings, right? The abundance that you do have, even if it's not what you want, even if when you're comparing yourself to someone else, you think that they got all their shit together and their life is so great because they drive a nice car, they got a nice house, they get to go on vacations, and here you are suffering, working some fucking dead-end job, or even in a career that you're just fucking miserable, right? But it gave you what? It gave you a pension. It's going to give you a retirement. And all you can do is you can't wait to get to the fucking end, right? The end. And whether it's your career or your fucking life, you may not even get to the end. You don't know. You have no fucking idea, man, what today could bring. And today could either bring your fucking greatest breakthrough, or it could be the end, the real end. And y'all don't know. I don't know, right? I was sitting there yesterday, right? I'll recap my weekend. Saturday, right? A lot of fucking self-care, right? Weekends, because my Monday through Friday has been really fucking jam-packed with a lot of management. And anytime you're managing people, your stress is going to be quadrupled. Anybody managing people, you know, when you're managing other people, your stress is fucking quadrupled. So I haven't eliminated stress, but it's how I deal with it. How am I dealing with the stress in the midst of these fucking managing people? And so I now realize that. So I've had to invest even more into my self-care. And because my schedule is a little funky during the week, where I'm working late into the nights, you know, I'm having to put even more focus, more energy into taking care of myself on those weekends. So this past weekend, I was fortunate, man. Saturday, right? I didn't want to go to the gym. I wanted to be fucking lazy. I wanted to just have a fucking chill day. And instead, I landed up by the end of the day, I had hit the gym, right? And my fucking workouts are intense. So it was like I hit an intense fucking gym workout. Then I went to yoga, which is another intense workout. The vinyasa is fucking, it's pretty fucking physical. This shit ain't just sitting there on your ass. I mean, the moves and the breathing and all that, it's amazing. I love it. And then finally, I did a freaking really strenuous hike, climbing up it's about a 3,500 foot ascent with a pack, right? 6.5 miles. You know, I got lost a little bit. I can admit that. I got a little bit off route because, you know, that's one of those things about New Mexico. I already touched on it earlier, man, is we got a lot of little rabbit trails. We got a lot of undeveloped stuff. And I took a wrong rabbit trail. My adrenaline was up. And a lot of times, especially because it was like a sunset hike, it was getting dark. And I like to run. I run downhill. Sometimes I run a little bit uphill with the pack. And I think I just missed my turn. I was just all excited. And I missed the turn. And I realized I'd missed the turn, but I was already a ways down and had to get back up. And, you know, I just got off track. No big deal. But it extended that. And then yesterday, same thing. More fucking self-care. I went back to the well that filled me up and got me through last week. And last week was very fucking challenging for me, occupationally speaking. It was a very challenging week, dealing with people, managing people, right? Thinking that I was going to have to fire somebody. And instead, by the end of the week, they resigned gracefully. It was a peaceful fucking just, okay, you realize this ain't the right situation for you. Let's move on. And because we can have this peaceful moving on, if this person ever did want to try and come back on this team, they'd be welcome. They'd be given that opportunity. But last week being a challenging week, I grew as a man, as a human, as a manager, right? As a partner in this business that we're trying to get going, of redoing a whole entire fucking motel, which it's really like having 27 Airbnb units. Like that's the model. That's what we're doing, right? It's a motel, but it's like we have 27 fucking Airbnb units that we're trying to promote and sell every single day. But we're putting in a lot of money to revitalize this whole vision of this place from kind of like a Western, little dated situation. We want to maintain that character, but we're changing it. We're giving a new concept and a new vibe. And it's going to be a beautiful thing, but it's taking a lot of work. And so I'm having to double down. And so yesterday I went back to them hot springs. That's a big part of me, getting over there to those. But I started with a hike. I climbed up a fucking mountain, right? To earn that shit, getting in that cold water, getting in that hot water, right? But I earned it. I got another hike in. And so much time just focusing on myself, focusing on that. But I could literally sit there and say that, you know what, I remember yesterday and just a lot of my mindfulness, right? Because I'm not just sitting there gossiping. I'm listening to a lot of conversations, man. A lot of these couples trying to manage these relationships, a lot of groups. You know, I don't usually see a lot of the guys, you know, like me and three other fucking dudes over there soaking and chilling out, talking. I don't see a lot of that. There's a lot of women that show up like that, you know, the little women's groups out there, and they all talking and complaining. You know, it's half and half. It's 50-50. What I hear is 50% people talking about mindfulness, talking about, you know, health and wellness, and that's really cool because they're definitely being present, soaking in the hot springs and the minerals and all that. And the other half is just complain about their relationships, right? Which one are you? Are you someone that's talking about mindfulness? Are you grateful for what you got? Are you talking about how you fill up your cup? You're talking about your yoga? You're talking about doing all these things? Or are you someone that's just sitting there complaining about your fucking partner behind their back and just wondering why, what are you going to do to change it? Because you ain't going to probably change anybody else, right? So you're going to have to change yourself. And that's the it's all on me fucking mentality, is if there's something you're not happy about, you got to change it. You got to take total ownership of your life, of your feelings, of how you talk about people behind their back. I had that situation happen last week where I caught someone on tape talking a lot of shit, right? And then I had to question them as to, hey, do you really feel this way? Because if you do, I don't know if this philosophy, if your views are going to really align on our team. And it went from me thinking I was going to need to fire this motherfucker to them eventually just me being graceful and that person actually breaking down. And that was a really powerful experience because this person said some awful fucking things about me. And I'm not even going to get into whether they're true or not. There's just someone else's fucking opinion of me does not matter. But it's hard to fucking listen to someone talking shit. Personal fucking shit when I don't know this individual, just barely meeting them. And yet when they found out that I knew what they said, like I got this shit on tape too. This man fucking broke down. He broke down hard, crying, ashamed of himself for what he said. And it really came down to the fact that he internalized and realized that it wasn't me that was causing his pain and his problems. It was himself. He was in pain. He was suffering. He had felt that he had to be displaced because of his relationship, right? His relationship caused him to move and to leave his friends and his family and the situation he was most comfortable with. So now he found himself in a different environment. He felt lonely. He felt afraid. He didn't have no friends. And then COVID happened, and he's someone that was very afraid of COVID. And it even caused him to leave the profession he was in, which was somewhat healthcare related, to where now he was working the front desk of a motel and feeling very unfulfilled in life. So here I come and ask him, hey, would you be willing to move shifts so I can hire a new person? And right away he was, no, I'm not willing to do that. I was hired to work the daytime and That's all I'm good for. And I was like, well, shit, that doesn't leave me a lot of options, right? I'm looking for someone that's going to be a team player and willing to kind of just work with me, not against me. And he took that whole encounter very negatively, but then he broke down, right? I didn't just get rid of him. I didn't just fire his ass. I gave him some grace. I said, man, why don't you just try it out? Right? We actually were able to come to a more level conclusion to say, dude, try it out. At the very least, man, you saying you don't want to do this, but would you be willing to try it out? And he said yes. But then even at the end of the week, I told him, look, man, you need to figure out what you need, right? If you're willing, if you need something different, another environment, going back to your profession, which is not front desk, you don't have a history in hospitality. Yours is more of like healthcare, right? What can I do to support you? What can I do to help you get to where you are going to feel best about yourself? And if it's not here, I'm down to help you get there. You can stay here as long as you need to in order to make that transition smoother. By the end of the week, the dude eliminated himself gracefully. And that's a good thing, because then that creates peace, not drama, not bullshit. And most of us, this drunk motherfucker, he used to be full of conflict, confrontational, very confrontational person. And I still struggle with confrontation, but that's why it's so important for me, you guys, to get the mindfulness in every day, because I want to have control over my emotions. I don't want to make rash decisions based on how I'm feeling, based on if I'm angry or feeling threatened or feeling upset. And I've done it in my intimate relationships. I've done it in workplace relationships, and I do it with myself, right? I can doubt myself. I can be really hard and critical on myself. And so it's really important to me to start the week, right? Which is really starting the week is the way I ended the week. And the way I ended the week was great. It was peaceful. It wasn't full of confrontation. And then I doubled down on my mindfulness. I put myself in some uncomfortable situations again this week, right? Getting in that fucking workout on Saturday, then the yoga, then a fucking extreme hike, right? That took a lot out of me. And then to bounce back and then do it again the next day, another big hike. But then earning some fucking time, some pleasure, some mindfulness, right? Really just being there for myself. And I showed up to the Springs and it was packed. There was a lot of fucking people there. So I was already kind of stressed out. I was like, shit, man, there's a lot of people here. But I guess what? I checked that thought and I said, you know what? I don't care if this place is totally packed. I'm going to find my peace in here. I'm coming here with an intention to heal myself. I'm not here to get caught up in all the masses. And it's really good when you're alone like that, because you don't have to manage these fucking conversations. You don't have to manage the relationships. You can truly be there for the right reasons, which for me was to really increase my energy, to focus and get more clarity on what direction I'm headed in life, the message that I'm delivering to you guys, ways that I can improve my presentation, my messaging, and even just focusing on new ideas that are going to help the venture that I'm building right during my fucking work week. And so again, I thank you guys for showing up. I hope that you'll find something for you to make a difference in your own life today on this Monday fucking morning, right? That you'll look at this week differently, right? That you won't show up miserable as fuck to your job. Even if you don't like your job, you don't like your boss, and you certainly don't like your paycheck, right? Even if all of those things are fucking negatives right now, you're in a shitty situation, you can change. You should start fucking looking at some new job opportunities. Apply for that job you don't feel fucking qualified for. Just do it. And don't do it just saying, oh, I'm just doing this just to do it. Do it believing that you're worthy of that. And really speak into that in your cover letters. Have some fucking confidence. Speak from your heart why you think your passion and your care for this type of a role you would be the best person for it. And even talk about where maybe that one place is the education. You're not there on the education, but your experience far sets you above anybody else applying for it, right? You got to start living life with passion, because most of you aren't willing to take me up on $10 million for today to be your last day, and then tomorrow you get to go to the golden roads of heaven. Most of y'all ain't willing to do that because you're going to say, oh, well, I have a purpose here. I can't just do that. I can't, all this other shit. But it's like, man, if we really do believe that heaven is better, right, than what we're doing now, I don't understand why people aren't running to that, like literally offing themselves to get to heaven. Most of us realize that if someone takes their life, this is probably not a good thing. But I've never been to a funeral where they talked about how fucked up someone was. Everybody goes to heaven. That's the crazy thing. If you've ever been to a funeral, we ain't ever talking about how fucking messed up people were, how rude they were, how big of an ass they were, how bitter they were, how awful they were. Man, even in fucking the most grotesque, heinous people, mass murderers, man. Oh, it was, you know, they still come up with some good shit to say about him. You know, there's something about it, man. So which is it? Do we go to hell? Do we go to heaven? I ain't never been to a fucking service where we said he, you know, as much as we would like to think he's in heaven, we know that he's where he belongs, where he deserves, where she deserves. Anybody ever been to that fucking service? Because according to my record of funerals, everyone is going to heaven. And so which is it? Your faith can't contradict itself, but it does in a lot of ways. And that's what just, for me, I just find myself in this place of just, I know that today is the day. I'm given a day. I'm going to try and make the most out of today. I'm grateful for the roles that I have, the roles as a man, the roles as a father, right? The roles as a manager and a leader, right? Someone inspiring other fucking people to go live their best lives. And that's what I'm telling you to go do today on this Monday. Go live your best life. Really start to dig deep inside of who you are. Start journaling, motherfuckers. I keep telling you this every fucking day. You got to put in these journal entries. Get out these thoughts that you have. The good, the bad, and the motherfucking ugly. All these thoughts you should be putting down on paper so you can reflect and really say, is the things that are holding you back, are they really that scary? Is the worst case scenario, if you really take that action, you press go live and you start talking your truth, or you start a business plan, or you start developing some kind of a new skill, right? But you're being held back psychologically because you're afraid, right? Write that shit down. What is it that you're so afraid of? What's the worst that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? And what are you going to do when the worst thing happens? Will you give up, or will you keep pressing forward? Because you're chasing after your goals, your dreams, and they should matter. You should be willing to do anything to get your goals and dreams, anything ethical. We're not talking about breaking laws. We're not talking about violating other fucking people. When you get to your goals and dreams, it should be something that you could be proud of, that it just pours out of you. And each and every one of us have something super special inside of us. Find that thing inside of you. You already know what it is. You're just scared to get there. You're scared to because you don't feel that you're the person that you need to be for that. Because you're comparing yourself to other people. But the truth is, I say this all the time, you don't know who you are until you try. And you got to try a lot of things to truly discover who you are. You could be one of the most famous, one of the most inspiring, one of the most creative, talented people on earth that we've never seen. You are undiscovered. If you have not reached greatness yet, you don't know what your greatness is. It is time to find out. And some of you, you just need to try more things. And make that the fucking goal for this week. Try some new things. Try more things. And some of the new things that you kind of feel uncomfortable about, but it makes you feel good. Try it some more and try it some more and keep trying it. Keep going back. That was me in yoga, right? I tried it, went back, tried it again, missed a week because I went to the funeral, got back after it this week. And it's something that I don't see me not wanting to do it. I get a lot out of that. Do I look like a fucking yoga guy? No, but it's something I could tell. It was something even a year ago or more. It was something I wanted to try. And I sat on it for a long time. And I'm grateful that I have finish the starting line. Finish the starting line of something new in your life this week. That side hustle, right? That side fucking hustle, that passion you got. I believe in you, motherfuckers. I'm here for you. Reach out to me. Thank you to those of you that continue to reach out. Continue to lift me up. You're filling my cup when you give me that encouragement. And hopefully I'm giving you the encouragement and the inspiration you need to go live your fucking best life today and each and every day, man. Because we take no fucking days off here. Remember, results kill excuses. It's all on me, motherfucker. Greg's out.